right, everyone. Hello, and welcome to THS Wrestling. My name is John, and joining me this week is, I think what I do on my podcast is I should just start naming tag teams. Right? Do you want to be, you'll be the Shawn Michaels to my Marty Jannetty. I'm fine with that. No, that's fine.
Terrible. Why would you
that's
say
fine.
that?
Hey, Marty Jannetty had a fine singles career.
Trip? You didn't want to go with Power Trip? Where you can be Stone Cold and I could be Triple H?
All right, fine.
Did
Stop
you really,
the stream and
you really compare yourself to Marty Jannetty?
Marty Jannetty is a former Intercontinental Champion.
Did you really compare yourself to Marty Jannetty and me, Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, you're going to throw me through the window after.
You could have said Power Trip, where you could have been Stone Cold and I could have been Triple H.
That's just the first tag team that came to my mind.
Okay.
How about the Rick Martel to my Tito Santana? Strike Force.
I'm with that. I like Rick.
Strike Force.
I'm with Rick Martel.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
There's a lot of people that should be in the Hall of Fame that are not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Edge is in the Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame. And isn't Christian in the Hall of Fame?
No way.
Not yet.
Is Marty Jannetty in the Hall of Fame? No, unfortunately not.
No, he's not.
Wah, wah, wah.
Guys.
You can see Marty Jannetty at your local comic book convention. Just request him. Just kidding. Sorry, Marty. Oh, this is going to come back on me.
Oh, Marty. So we got a lot to talk about, and I think we just mentioned the Hall of Fame. So let's talk about some rumors from the Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about AEW, guys. Don't worry. Do not worry. We're going to talk about Dean Ambrose and what his future might be. But rumors, I want to say a week or two ago, that the first inductees into the Hall of Fame were going to be the original Hart Foundation.
I don't like it.
Anvil Neidhart,
I don't like
Bret Hart, and Jimmy Hart. No, you don't like it. Why don't you like it?
Because Brian Pillman isn't there, because Owen Hart isn't there, and because Davey Boy Smith isn't there.
Okay. So you would rather have this iteration of the Hart Foundation inducted. And I would have to disagree.
Let me give you a little backstory on Joe here.
Okay.
Bret the Hitman Hart is my favorite wrestler of all time. This era of Bret the Hitman Hart was the best era. Besides when he was the champion between 93 and 96 or whatever. This in 97, 96, 97, I love the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, they were great.
I thought this was the best of the best. Do you remember Canadian Stampede?
I do remember Canadian Stampede. I just watched that 10-man tag.
That's a great tag match.
It's
number
great.
One. And I love the fact that Bret Hart at the time, groundbreaking, right? One of the only dudes that can get booed in America and cheered everywhere else. Canadian Stampede, obviously, is his home country. Great example. And I love the way they wrestled that match.
Yeah.
The Hart Foundation wrestled that match as faces, and Stone Cold, the Legion of Doom, Goldust, and Shamrock wrestled it as heels.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I love this era of the Hart Foundation, and all those guys deserve to be respected.
Just a note about that match. Goldust was actually supposed to be Sid, right?
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Okay, so you would want them inducted as a unit.
Yeah, because I have a feeling it's gonna be very hard to get Owen by himself.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gonna be hard to get Owen in there in general because of his wife.
But Davey, it's gonna be hard to get Davey.
Yeah, they had a falling out too with his kid and something with, I don't know, some rights to something.
And Pillman deserves it.
Well, I mean, I think Pillman should
go on his own.
I think Pillman should go in on his own. You have Davey Boy who could go in as a member of the Hart Foundation or a member of the British Bulldogs.
With Pillman going in on his own, it's a little harder though, because he didn't really do anything of substance in WWE besides the Hart Foundation. And if we're going past in his WCW career, I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But substantially, his biggest accomplishment was the Hollywood Blondes and
best theme song in wrestling,
and his TV title run. Yeah. I don't think that warrants a Hall of Fame
and
induction.
the Cruiserweight
title. So I'm not sure if that warrants a Hall of Fame induction as much as it does with this unified collection of group of talent.
So I get that, but I think one thing that you have to realize is, even though his WWF WWE run wasn't anything of substance for the most part, that's never stopped WWE from inducting
huge mistake
who have not been in WWE at all.
Yeah, because the WWE Hall of Fame I don't take seriously.
That's fine. I mean,
look, no offense to Edge, but if you're inducting Edge into the WWE Hall of Fame, right after he just because he retired. To me, there's a problem there. If Edge got inducted before Triple H or The Undertaker, that's a problem.
Well, I mean, those two are both still active. Yes, I agree. It's a problem.
But
too.
wait, technically, so is Kurt Angle, and he's inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
That is true. So it's kind of like what
there's no real criteria to be a Hall of Famer, and to me, that's a bigger problem.
Okay,
I'm cool with the Hart Foundation going in this iteration, but this iteration to me wasn't as like how come Demolition's not in?
I mean, we could go over
tag teams all day. Right?
Demolition should have been inducted like
Rick Martel
6 years ago.
The Ravishing Rick Rude. Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow hit for me is the glowing example of someone that should have been inducted many years ago.
Shane Douglas. I know there's going to be a problem there, but Shane Douglas.
I mean, Shane had a very good career. I don't really know if well, it doesn't matter if we're throwing it out the window. But he had a fantastic career as well. There are many people that should be in the Hall of Fame that are not in the Hall of Fame, and I think to induct, rumored to induct this iteration of the Hart Foundation, the original, yes. Jim Neidhart was mainly a tag team wrestler, and he had his best run in this tag team. But I don't know. I mean, like, you're going to make Jimmy Hart a 2-time Hall of Famer, which, no offense to Jimmy Hart, I've heard he has a great tiki bar. I've heard that.
Listen, once they induct Brutus the Barber Beefcake, I'm fucking done.
That's it for you?
That's it. I'm never watching Hall of Fame again. Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake. Are you kidding me?
I just don't watch the Hall of Fame. Do you watch the Hall of Fame?
No.
There's too much going on that week.
I watch it if I hear there's a great speech. Like, I loved... Who had a really good speech? Like, my favorite speech of all time, Scott Hall. It's like 11 words. It's something like...
what he signed off with, right?
No. It was it was so simple. It was like... It was something like fuck. I can't. I'm gonna.
Let me just hit the comments here. Matt says WWE needs a 5-year rule like MLB, NFL.
I agree.
That is a great thing that they should do. But I mean, they induct whoever they want. It's their rules.
Shawn Michaels inducted.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is in. But I don't know. I think this does a disservice to the Anvil, and I think it's just. They want someone else on stage accepting the award that is more well known.
Scott Hall's induction speech. Hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Great. It's so good.
It doesn't get any better than that because to me, Scott Hall, I love Scott Hall, but he's that guy, right? Like that short composed sentence that sums up the dude's career.
Yep.
I like it.
It's good.
Me personally, I'm cool with the Hart Foundation going in. I just wish it was the I wish it was the stable Hart Foundation.
There's a lot, but I think that's a lot more. And I agree. I mean, they inducted the original NWO. They inducted the Four Horsemen. So, I mean, why not? But I don't know. I just think the timing's weird with Neidhart passing somewhat recently. But, I think I'm fine with it. They need a bigger name, but if they're doing tag teams, they should just do Demolition.
Right.
Demolition is great. What are we doing?
I agree. And the Powers of Pain. No, I was kidding.
Powers of Pain. Yeah, no, why not? Put the Powers of Pain in. Put everybody in, but don't. We're not in. We shouldn't be putting people in twice already.
Ric Flair. I mean, he deserves it though.
Flair with the Horsemen. I mean, yeah, that. I guess.
And if you would have even said Hogan with the NWO, I would have given it. You know what I mean? The NWO I would have been fine with. Or even DX.
DX, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with it, I guess.
I
guess. Something else I'm fine with.
Yeah? Mandy Rose?
Yeah, I'm more of an Alexa Bliss guy.
Are you?
Yeah. I think we've gone over this. Oh, boy.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I know you're engaged, right?
I am, yes.
All right. Well, it's okay.
Hi, Lauren.
I'm dealing with my own relationship thing, but it's fine.
Oh, boy.
Here's the deal.
He's a wrestler.
Based on who you are, who do you think would be your perfect WWE match?
If I was in the WWE, a perfect match for me. I am in the WWE, and
you're not a wrestler.
I'm just me. I'm just a guy. much like Adam Cole's just a guy.
He's just a guy. I'm meeting Adam Cole on Wednesday.
Are you?
You don't know about this?
I've heard about this. Do we want? Are we? No.
This week, I'll be in Orlando, Florida, this Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be doing a screening of Fighting with My Family, the Pages movie, and then we got a reception after. The next day, WWE is taking us onto a full access trip to the WWE Performance Center.
That's going to be super.
We are going to be doing entrances, promos.
Oh, you're doing the whole shebang.
Entrances, promos, and getting in the ring with wrestlers and seeing how they work out. All of the NXT superstars are going to be there. Triple H is going to be there. I'm excited.
Wow. That's super cool. That's amazing. Tell Johnny Gargano I say hello.
Hey, so, I will. Not only that, so we have Johnny Wrestling. You're Johnny Wedding?
Johnny Wedding.
That's your new nickname, Johnny
Wedding?
That's
Marianne. Hi, Marianne. She's my co-host on my podcast, Tornado Tag Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud.
All right.
There we go. Okay.
Johnny Wedding. Johnny Wedding. So, Marianne, if you're watching, I would really like to know who your match is.
I mean,
You're saying Alexa?
It would be Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
I think it would be Alexa Bliss.
I think mine would be...
She loves Disneyland. I love Disneyland.
I think mine is Sasha Banks.
Sasha, the boss. It's boss time, as they say.
I think it's Sasha.
Okay.
She has that personality that I like. All right, so let's
get to the big topic of the week, or the last couple of weeks, or since the clock hit January 1st, 2019, All Elite Wrestling. We had another rally this week. It was for Double or Nothing, which is going to happen in MGM Grand in Las Vegas on May 25th. And we were hanging poolside this week. Did you watch the rally? Did you catch it?
I saw Kenny Omega as part of the rally.
So Kenny Omega signed. He's signed, still delivered. He is AEW through and through. We got a lot of announcements, but for me, I think having Lucha Brothers is just a huge get, because those two they came out and interrupted the Young Bucks. They beat up the Young Bucks. It was pretty cool. And that's probably going to be our main event at Double or Nothing.
How awesome is that, though? The main event's a tag team match.
It's great.
Like, I feel like this is such a new era of wrestling that we're entering into. Man, the one thing that really excites me is that this is, I want to almost say, a throwback or a hybrid of what WWE either used to be or what New Japan, or what they're trying to take from what they learned in Japan and mixing it with the Western entertainment and making this new, and maybe even a little bit of MMA, and making this new product. I think it's smart, and I really, really like it. So
for me, and I will also
mention,
John,
if you do not mention best
friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta they also showed up. And I think the best thing about this is, yes, a lot of these guys, they're coming in as tag teams. Young Bucks said they want to make the best tag team division. But you also have 4 great singles wrestlers, in my opinion. Chuck Taylor's been around for 15, 16 years. Pentagon on top in Lucha Underground, same as Phoenix. So you got a lot of good talent to build on there. And I'm trying to think of what else.
I love Phoenix. I'm a big Phoenix
Phoenix
fan.
Is great. And he actually, I don't know if anybody saw, he got hurt at a indie show yesterday.
I did see that.
I did read that it was just a muscle contusion, which just sounds terrible, but at least it's not a broken leg.
Marianne's a big fan of Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, I know. She's going to try and take over this stream. It's not going to happen.
Like, is she a fan of Chuck Taylor the same way you're a fan of Alexa Bliss? Or maybe the same way...
You could say that.
Or maybe it's the same way I'm a fan of Mandy Rose.
You could say that, yes.
All right.
Probably more so. I don't know how. But anyway, so we got a lot of cool news. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, pre-sale. I read that they gave out 12,000 unique codes.
But
to
from
pre-order.
the All Elite?
I'm talking about Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Guess what, John? Media passes.
Is that confirmed?
I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to. No, we're almost there. I'm talking to. I'm
worked
talking.
Me
oh, I do got to tell you something about WrestleMania though.
Oh,
because this is confirmed. We'll talk about it after the show.
Okay, all right.
Fuck it, I'm gonna say it now. WrestleMania is confirmed. We will be there in Atlanta.
No shit.
Yeah. Thank you, Ted DiBiase. I'm just gonna say that. New York. Sorry, we will be there in New York. We will be at WrestleMania.
Wow!
Thank you, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
And I also want to say thank you, Jordan Humphries. But
that was
yes.
my Ted DiBiase laugh.
No.
One of the Are we talking senior?
No, we're talking junior.
Junior was great too. I think he was very underrated.
But this is why I think we're going to All Elite, because of Ted and Cody.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, what other announcements did we get at the Double or Nothing rally? We got Pac versus Hangman Page is official.
I can't wait.
That match
It's gonna steal the show.
Is going to be amazing. And this is another announcement we got. You see the graphic there. AEW with AAA in Mexico,
I think
which
great.
is a great get, mainly because we know AEW was in talks to work with New Japan, didn't work out, so they go and get another big name in Mexico because New Japan works with CMLL. So AAA is great. You know a lot of the AAA talent if you watch Lucha Underground. You got Drago, Aerostar. That's really the only two people I can think of off the top of my head. But if you've seen them on Lucha Underground, you will know them from AAA.
But the cool thing about this also is that AEW is changing the game the way that wrestling should be working, and I think that this makes the most sense. It's about promoting, maybe not so much other brands, but also promoting other brands. But it's kind of like this shared relationship. It's almost the same way that we watch these Marvel movies, and we think, oh, Captain America has a movie here, Iron Man has a movie here. When they all come together, it's the Avengers. They have these big event movies. I like the fact that wrestling is starting to move in this direction. Anybody that knows a little bit about football, the AFL used to be a separate league than the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Then they merged together. That's why we have the AFC now. And our president Donald Trump owned one of the AFL teams, as a fact.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is this: the AFL did exist, the NFL exists now. They merged together. Now we have what we have. But this working relationship with other promotions does nothing but help AEW.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, though. If WWE strikes a deal with New Japan, this is going to throw a huge wrench into this plan.
Yeah. I do want to talk about New Japan. When we're done talking about this, I have a question to pose to you. But somebody mentioned Nyla Rose also signed. Who mentioned that? Matt. Thank you, Matt.
NBA and ABA, again, Greg Evans. Thank you. Or Greg Bean. Greg Bean.
Absolutely. So a lot of women talent.
George Bean. Sorry, I don't even want to say Greg.
Kylie Ray, great get. Nyla Rose, not really familiar, but with a nickname like the American Kaiju, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, that's just me. And we also got the announcement that Aja Kong, legend, is going to be appearing at Double or Nothing. And that's our main event. Well, maybe our main event. Omega Jericho 2. What do you think about this? Round 2.
I'm going to be 100% transparent and honest about this. There's nothing left in there. We need more Neff.
It's gone.
I'll get more.
Here's my honest opinion about this. I wasn't exactly super impressed with Omega Jericho 1.
Okay.
I personally understood why the match was significant, and I thought it was a good match, but it didn't live up to the hype that I thought it could have. But here's the reason why. I love Chris Jericho, but nothing against Chris Jericho. I do, though, think that maybe his style's changed and he doesn't have that next level.
He leans on the no DQ too much.
He leans on the no DQ, and I think that Kenny Omega, you can almost tell in that match that Kenny Omega was holding back from some of the stuff that he would normally do. I think that Chris Jericho is great, though, with the WWE style, at that slower pace wrestling style, and the best bout machine. You just know he has other gears in him that he could have pulled out.
Absolutely. There's some more signings. Jimmy Havoc, great signing.
I'm excited about Jimmy fucking Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc is going to be a huge star. I think he is a different change of style from what we're being presented. He can wrestle a death match, but dude can wrestle too. I've seen it. I have seen it. Who else do we got? I mean, I think that's mainly... I mean, Sammy Guevara, who is the AAA World Cruiserweight Champion, he showed up. But I want to talk about Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega came out, says he's AEW through and through. He signed that morning, apparently. Look at that suit.
You know, I used to think... A lot of people here used to think Kenny Omega was my spirit animal, but now I'm getting a lot of Cody Rhodes.
Getting a lot of Cody Rhodes.
Getting a lot of Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes showing up in a Great looking suit too. It was Suit City.
Well, that's why. What do you think? I mean,
What
now.
do you-
What does that mean?
I'll show. No, I'm like I'll show up in a suit at some point.
I wear suits. I wear suits all the time now. I have to.
Yeah, it's your job. To look good.
It's true.
At all times. But Kenny Omega, so he's with AEW. I think for me the most interesting thing was the interview that he did with Dave Meltzer.
I love that interview. Great interview. Let's talk about that.
He said basically it was between AEW and WWE and New Japan.
But let's break this
Wasn't
down.
even a real
Let's
thing.
talk about. I want to break this down a little bit because there is significance to what he said there.
Mm-hmm.
He said that AEW was obviously on the table, WWE was on the table, and they treated him great.
Mm-hmm.
He also said New Japan, they was trying to structure a contract with New Japan that had him being a full-time wrestler at New Japan, that had him making appearances at AEW,
And they didn't.
and they did not want that to happen.
He also said it seemed like they didn't really care if he stayed or left. So I think that's another huge sign in how things are going over at New Japan. But at the end of the day, he says in his AEW contract,
Why isn't Marianne on this show with us?
because she lives in San Jose, California, where I am originally from.
You're from San Jose?
I am from. Well, I was born in Campbell. I just tell people, here's Campbell, and then here's San Jose, and so it's
From
just
Toronto.
Toronto,
Anyway.
Canada.
Yeah, all right, let's continue.
Anyway, so Kenny Omega, AEW and WWE, in his contract it says if it is right for him to do a program in New Japan, he can do so. So they will allow him to do that. Now, I think the thing, and this is the question I want to ask you, everyone is talking about how WWE is in trouble.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that for a second. And no one's talking about all the talent New Japan's losing. So, and I watched the two New Beginning shows, and they feel like
There's
very
a void.
different
There's a
products.
void. It's a void.
There is a void. I mean, I love Tetsuya Naito, and I love LIJ, so I'm just there for them.
Yeah, but Tetsuya Naito, like, I agree with you. There's a definite void
There's
with New
huge
Japan's
void.
product because the Canadians and the Americans are pretty much gone.
They are gone.
With the exception of
I mean, you got Jay White.
Yeah, you got Jay White. He's a New Zealand guy, but
You got Juice Robinson. Who's
sure.
great. But it feels like no one is mentioning that all of the members of the elite are gone from New
why
Japan.
are they not leaning on Kota Ibushi?
Kushida's gone. Well, because Kota Ibushi will not
Is
sign.
Kushida with WWE now?
He's
it
with
official?
It's official. He's with WWE.
So will I see him at the Performance Center?
I mean, you might.
I'm gonna
see
try to
him.
take a picture
You
with
just
him.
Point at your watch, and he'll know. But nobody's talking about how New Japan lost all this talent, and their show feels completely different. And the other thing we're going to talk about Dean Ambrose right now.
Wait, not right now. Let's stick
In a
on this
little
Kenny
bit.
Omega thing because I think that there's a lot more to peel back here, and I really like the conversation of what we can talk about the future because people think WWE is in trouble. I don't believe that personally.
No, they are not. Because if they lose all these guys that they're saying are like, oh, I want out of my contract. If the Revival leaves, even if Dean Ambrose leaves, and even if there's a weird rumor that Randall Orton's leaving.
And also, I've also heard that another one that wants to leave is Andrade
CN.
almost.
I mean, if those four guys leave, the show's still the same. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but you have to realize. I think though, we all knew that Daniel Bryan's contract was coming to an end. They had to keep him.
Oh yeah, they had no choice.
If Daniel Bryan would have went to New Japan, game changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And imagine if he signed a short-term deal and he goes to All Elite,
Yeah.
game changer. There's a few people at WWE they can't afford to lose. I would say that AJ Styles is one of them.
AJ's one of them.
But
I
I
would
do think
also
that-
actually say Finn Balor as well.
I don't know about that.
I think he's on the come up. I think Vince finally gets it.
I know.
somehow.
I don't know if Vince gets it as much as he's afraid. He's giving the push because he's afraid to
the
lose
talent.
him.
So, see, I think there's a difference between being afraid to lose talent and being in trouble.
Kenta is now gone.
Oh, Kenta's gone. Kenta's
To me,
back,
that's
going
a
back
big-
to save Noah.
That's a big blow, though.
I
mean,
love Kenta. He's great.
It's not
but
a
they
big,
did not.
It's not a big blow in terms. I don't think it's a big blow in terms of losing that talent.
Right.
I think it's a big blow because it shows that workers like Kenta can just leave, and I think it's going to open the eyes to those level workers.
Right.
That are like in that range. Like a like a Rich Swann or something. You know what I mean? Maybe that's
Well,
a bad example. It's a bad example.
Cleared of all charges, I think.
Bad example. But more of somebody like a Dolph Ziggler.
Who?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
I don't. Yeah,
Dolph,
who knows?
just
Maybe
leave,
he's going to be
man.
all elite.
Just be all elite. It's fine. Or
Yeah,
just,
you can
go on
be
your comedy
Nick
tour.
Nemeth.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll be fine.
I want to talk about Dean Ambrose. That's what I want to talk about.
You want to talk about Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose?
I want to talk about Jonathan Good.
All right.
Which is his shoot name. So Dean Ambrose, a couple of weeks ago, apparently told WWE he went into a meeting. He got a meeting with Vince. Vince said, I'll up your pay to this. And he said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to leave after my contract is up at the end of April. And they actually announced this on their website. Yeah. And they said, hey.
And their
he's
Instagram account, all their social media.
Everywhere. They said, hey, he's not coming back after his, we wish him, I don't think they said they wished him well in his future endeavors, but they said thank you for all of your time or something. So.
Well, yeah, and it was like, we hope to see him back in the WWE.
Yes. So not renewing his contract when it comes up. What do you think Dean Ambrose does? Because everyone's like, oh, he's going to AEW or AEW. What the heck am I saying? I think Dean Ambrose is the type of guy that could just go to Las Vegas where he lives and just hang out for the rest of his life.
I think me personally, what I actually think, I think there's a few things here, and I think this is a harder breakdown. Number one, you got to realize that this is the first time WWE stepped in front of an announcement like this for such a big act as Dean Ambrose. Now, we know he's been frustrated with the direction of his character, Dean Ambrose. Jonathan Good has been frustrated with the character of Dean Ambrose. And now he didn't want to resign. Dean Ambrose is, to me, the same kind of character. Not the same exactly, but along those lines of the character of like a CM Punk, a Roddy Piper, where I almost feel that this is a work. I almost feel like this is them creating a buzz of being like, oh, Dean's going to be gone. He's the big signing of AEW. And then somehow he surprises everybody. And Dean Ambrose is going to be the hottest star in WWE.
I could see that,
but
I just don't know.
If Triple H is behind it, I have a feeling this could be a possibility. And here's another thing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing too that was a little surprising, which took me back to thinking this is a work. If you look at the promo that he cut on EC3,
where's EC1 and 2?
Yeah, but not just that.
I know, not just that.
But just all he said, I feel like if he were really leaving, they would not give him that airtime. Now I understand he lost, but if he were actually leaving, I don't feel like he would be given that airtime to get an audience crowd to cheer like that. He clearly has turned face at a point, and I think that now it's getting
back face.
Well, so let's take that cue for an example. He turned back face. And he's getting the audience behind him, but they announce him leaving. But he turns face as he's leaving.
It is fishy. I won't lie to you.
Something's in the air. Something's in the air, and I think Triple H has more up his sleeve.
But I mean, if it's legit, you could see. Jon Moxley was an insane person on the Indies.
Oh, he's so great.
He cut some of the greatest promos. Did you ever see?
I used to watch him in Noah all the time, yeah.
Did you ever see when he interrupted Foley and he told Foley that he killed a generation?
Well,
all my friends are dead because of you and what you did.
And that was a work because and that fizzled out because Foley couldn't wrestle.
I know,
but they wanted that match.
They were going to do that.
This dude, Dean Ambrose, Jonathan Good, Jon Moxley, whatever you want to call him, I think can be the legit. He is the next CM Punk. I think. In terms of his verbal abilities.
0-2 in the UFC. Here we come.
Well,
you mean wrestling? No, I mean
I fills agree. That void.
I agree, but it's just, are we working ourselves in the chutes with them saying that he's leaving, and he says that he's leaving, and his wife is posting like I support my husband stuff, and so it's kind of.
I find it extremely fishy.
I'm fine with getting worked. Like honestly, if it comes May and he's still there.
Look, when's the last time WWE worked any of us? Like the CM Punk thing might have been it. I mean, that wasn't even necessarily a work.
No, I don't.
Because we knew that was happening. But like, I think the last time we got worked, is when we thought Brock Lesnar was going to lose the title at WrestleMania. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's the last time.
It's the last time it got worked. Or when The Undertaker lost the streak.
I laughed real hard.
This is one of those moments where it can go either way. Personally, if WWE is smart and wants to stay in the game to compete with AEW, this is the storyline you build around. Mm-hmm. Becky Lynch feels real. That's why people are attracting to that.
So
this can feel real because it is real, technically.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this little picture right here? Nia Jax facing off with... I think this was something I wanted to bring up when Nia Jax entered the Rumble. What are your thoughts on intergender wrestling?
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. I'm not either.
I'm not opposed to it. I just almost... I fear the backlash that WWE could get as a company because of it, though. I mean, we're in a weird position now in 2019 where if a man hits a woman, even as being a work,
right.
If a man hits a woman, he gets crucified. I feel like we're on this realm, but at the same time, some of these women are so good. I want to see them compete against the men because I think they're better.
George, you just said in the comments this match got canceled. Are you talking about
house shows?
The house show? It got canceled. They didn't do it because it got too much buzz. Okay, well, I guess never mind. I think it would have been interesting.
It's a bizarre feud, but if anybody is going to be the catalyst to start an intergender match, it would be Nia Jax.
I absolutely agree.
And I love that it's with Dean Ambrose because I think that Dean's a great person for that. And it's not like we haven't seen this before. I mean, look at what's the guy's name that was with Carmella? Fucking
Big Cass?
No.
Oh.
Fucking
James
Ellsworth.
Oh, James Ellsworth.
You know what I mean? He's the intergender champion. Now he got accused of showing.
Oh yeah, well, we'll get it.
But whatever. I think
one of the sponsors,
China and Triple H.
George is telling me one of the sponsors was upset, so I guess that point's moot. So no intergender wrestling, I guess.
But look, here's the thing. I'm curious to see where Dean Ambrose goes, and they're not pulling him off of TV.
No.
Which is a sign to me that he's sticking around.
Which is very strange, but also there's also that weird, sometimes on your way out they're going to bury you.
But John, there's value in TV time.
I
Investors
agree.
pay for it. Instead of Dean Ambrose being on the air, that can be a role for EC3 or maybe I don't know, Heavy Machinery or whoever, like Lacey Evans, whatever.
It could for one of the new people.
It could be anybody for a new person you want to get pushed. But I feel like there's more here to it. It just feels a little fishy.
Okay, I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a part of me.
But let's say that he does leave. Where does he end up?
I think he just hangs out in Vegas.
You don't think
we
he
could
goes
go
anywhere?
visit him. I think he's just like I've read sometimes that he's very hard to read, which makes sense if you've ever watched Total Divas when he's been on there. And he's just like done. He's just wants to go home and he just wants to hang out. If he does,
This sounds very much like CM Punk.
Yeah, it does sound.
In the new
Sounds very much like that.
Wrestling Figures podcast.
Who cares about that podcast?
He's
Oh, he does. He does talk about. He does. He also says that wrestlers. He feels like there's so many wrestlers in this job now just for a paycheck, but he loves wrestling. He loves it.
pretty much he's like
Moxley said that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that he loves wrestling, but also CM Punk loved wrestling and he got burnt out. And he just left. I mean, he had the big run, but then after that he just left.
I feel like a lot of these, and I'm not saying John or Dean or whatever you want to call him in general. I think that when you get these wrestlers that are artists, like a CM Punk, like maybe like a Finn Balor, maybe like a Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, you get these wrestlers, maybe even Dean or Seth Rollins. These guys that are wrestlers but also artists, it's this creativity thing of wanting to put on the best matches and wanting to do their style. Shinsuke Nakamura, of wanting to be
Right.
wrestlers that brought him there.
Yeah.
And it gets so soul crushing when they get to WWE because it's a corporate environment. Now, I don't blame Vince McMahon. I don't blame Triple H because I understand the way I don't understand the way the business works, but I understand the business.
You
mindset
understand
of
it enough.
Right, but I understand the business mindset of it. I just feel that, like, some of these wrestlers, their dream was just to wrestle the best matches there are. Mm-hmm. And they don't get that opportunity to do that because of whatever the reason may be. Because you want to push the big guy that can barely move, or you want to do this, you want to do that.
Jeff Hardy.
You want to push old guys who have
my favorite line
been there before.
I think my favorite line of this year so far was a SmackDown episode where there was all of them in the ring together, and Jeff Hardy got in the mic talking about Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe said he got the mic and he said, "Hey Jeff Hardy, wait your turn like this is an AA meeting.
And wait your turn while it's mine to share."
Yeah.
Did you see Randy Orton?
He just cracked. He was like,
my
God.
No. Put the belt on Joe, man. That's another guy I think he's just been on fire lately.
Samoa Joe to me is, I think that guy. I think he walks out of WrestleMania the WWE champion somehow, some way.
You think he?
I don't give a fuck who he's wrestling. It doesn't matter who he's wrestling.
That's a very
Samoa Joe goes to WrestleMania and wins the title.
I could see a Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. They're both heels,
AJ Styles triple threat.
Ah, man. That's fine. I'm just so...
Listen,
is triple threats at my WrestleMania.
I'm all right with that triple threat. I just don't want to see Becky, Charlotte, Ronda.
No, absolutely
I want to see
not.
Becky, Ronda one-on-one.
Shoehorn Charlotte in there. Get it.
And if we're talking Universal title, I know we're going to see Seth and Brock. That's fine. But I'm okay with the triple threat being Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan.
George says Joe, Daniel Bryan, and Bray Wyatt, who we haven't seen in months.
Oh, he's not in All Elite yet?
I don't even know what his name on the Indies was. I can't make that joke. I mean, what else do we got to talk about? Oh, All Elite. They released just to circle back here with All Elite. They released the ticket prices, and man, if you want to hang out ringside for, I think it's $217, and that's
good.
Before. I mean, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I think that's fine.
Good, right?
I mean, if it's a if it's a WWE event, it's gonna be like twice that.
This is a national company. I mean, this is a real company. This isn't an indie company.
Well, they'll be a real company when they have more than just T-shirts.
When you have a $1 billion dude running your or financing your company, it's not an indie company. That's a real company.
I need that TV deal, man. They still have not announced.
The cons are real players, and let's be honest, Kenny Omega would not have passed up on a multi-million-dollar deal for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh no! He's getting a pretty payday. That is for sure.
Listen, All Elite Wrestling, once it's kicked off, once we have our first event, and let's be honest, the way that we could imagine if this is a Netflix exclusive, a first ever live Netflix exclusive, you can change the game with streaming at this point. Think about this. Like, not saying this is going to be the case.
Right.
But All Elite Wrestling can change the game of what they are doing. WWE is very traditional. You have USA, which is going to be Fox very soon. Mm-hmm. And you have, it's just USA, right?
Yes.
It's going to be USA and Fox for Raw.
Right.
And, but if you do this, if you start dipping into new media, and AEW seems like their Double or Nothing is a great entendre for what I feel like the company is. Mm-hmm. It's they're going balls to the wall with everything.
Yeah.
And if they embrace new technology, new digital media, something like a Netflix or a Hulu being like, hey, you know what? We're going to be on Hulu live. Dude,
that would be amazing.
This changes,
especially in this generation.
But this changes.
You want it now.
This changes Netflix sports because now it's kind of like when something like all of us know, like when you get your new season of Daredevil and it drops at midnight, we're all binging it, right? Mm-hmm. If something like this happens and it's live, hey, this is going to be live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and it's a first ever Netflix sporting event. Mm-hmm. Are you fucking kidding me?
That would be insane.
This is groundbreaking, and then after that you can binge it if you miss an episode, bro.
I mean,
AEW I think can do that, but also if it's on TNT, there you go. That's another thing.
I think they need that TV deal. I don't know if we're to the point where if they're just streaming.
What if it's like HBO, like HBO boxing?
Sling could be a thing. If it's like HBO
boxing, now the HBO boxing after dark. What if it's like AEW wrestling on HBO? Yeah. HBO's hot.
I mean, look, you said the cons they're in it to win it. So I think whatever they end up doing is going to be great.
Look, McMahon's. I will say this right now: the Khans are going to compete with you. The McMahons are at their best when they're being competed against. I can't wait for this next few years of what the wrestling world's going to be.
Yeah, man.
Now things are changing because there's real competition here. I would have said this originally, and this is something you wanted to touch on. We'll talk about this for a second. New Japan, I thought, was real competition. However, with all the American talent leaving, WWE doesn't hurt. New Japan hurts the most.
New Japan definitely hurts
New
the
Japan,
most out of all this.
besides TNA, New Japan might be the first casualty of this warfare. New Japan, something we used to be the hottest brand. New Japan was like ECW. Last few years, New Japan's been that ECW of like the fans were behind it.
Right.
Now all the talent has made this mass exodus, or all the not
Yeah, and I
everybody.
think that's also very telling because a lot of them kind of just left and it didn't really sound like they renegotiated or tried to renegotiate. They were just like, we're out. So I think with the trade over in the ownership of New Japan, something happened and they didn't like what they saw and they were like,
Money.
gonna get out of here. Money too, I mean.
Gonna get out of here.
But I mean, they have a lot of creativity in New Japan. It just almost sounded like they called it in the ring, brother, but here's the finish. And tell your own story, which is great. And I think Kenny Omega actually touched on that. He's like, I kind of just wanted to leave that so I didn't have to worry about it.
I want to mention this comment. This is from one of our Star Wars viewers, actually, John Pamberfoot. He says they were getting into a lower pay, but a percentage of ownership through stock options. What do you think about the pay structure? I mean, because I've heard
Is that WWE or AEW?
AEW's. I heard they're getting pay up front. I know that somebody like a Kenny Omega is technically co-vice president along with
Yes.
with four other people. I believe I think it's both the Young Bucks
And Cody.
and
Yeah.
and it's Kenny Omega and then Cody's wife Brandy is
Chief
their
branding officer.
chief branding officer.
So that's for WWE then, which I think their stock is back up again.
Is it?
I think it's back up to 85.
Man, it's so exciting to be a wrestling fan
Yeah,
right now.
it's
And let's
great.
be honest, man. WWE. If I was WWE, I'd try to make a TV deal, maybe on a smaller network for NXT. It's very
Well,
good.
I think I read somewhere that Fox wants more content than just SmackDown.
Let me ask you a question.
from them.
Where's Lars Sullivan?
Oh, my,
Where
so
in the world is Lars Sullivan?
I heard that he lied about. Did you read that?
No.
I heard that he lied about his panic attack, and he did it to duck a drug test. Yeah, man. I read that and I went, "Oh boy, I hope that's just a rumor."
This isn't good,
Yes,
Lars.
they do.
They drug test heavily. That's not good for Lars Sullivan.
That's not good.
So let me ask you another question.
He'll be showing up
Right
with
now,
autograph
right now
signs.
at NXT, there's a crop of talent which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Ricochet,
Ricochet.
Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream.
No, he's great. He's
Ricochet, Velveteen Dream,
Johnny.
Adam Cole, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Wedding,
Donovan Dijakovic. Figure out how to pronounce that name, WWE.
Tommaso Ciampa. They have a lot
Keith
of
Lee.
I think that Daniel Jerome here would be Keith Lee.
Keith Lee.
There's a lot of great guys currently in NXT right now.
Yes.
And also, who's my bae from NXT? The American Ninja Warrior girl.
Casey. Oh boy,
I love you.
One of the people in our stream knows the name. I can never pronounce.
I don't care.
Her last name. It's
I
Casey.
don't need to know your last name. I just love you. I think that with NXT, who's going to be leading the future if they pull from that roster, that top six that we have in NXT?
I have been a fan of Johnny Gargano.
Oh, Catanzaro.
Catanzaro. Thank
My
you.
God, I love her.
She's great. She was the star of the Women's Rumble, I thought.
She was.
I've been a
Casey
fan of Johnny
Catanzaro.
Gargano since he wrestled in the Ohio Indies, and I have watched his career forever. And I think if they do it right, I think he's the next big star from
Who was that? I was paying attention to.
Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
I think if they do it right, he could be the next Daniel Bryan for sure. That's who I think. For
Johnny
me.
Wrestling.
Johnny Wrestling, man.
As long as they don't stick him on 205 Live.
Listen, I think 205 Live is a great show. I think they have a decent roster. It's an hour-long show. I think some of the matches sometimes are too long for their own good, but they've got a good crop of talent, and I enjoy that show. I watch it every week.
But it's not what brings in the money. Because
No,
the
it's
money
not.
Is the big shows.
But also, even if he does go to 205 Live, that doesn't mean he's going to stay there. I mean, look at Mustafa Ali. He's in the main event.
He's the only. But he's the only. Can you name me another 205 Live guy that's actually done that?
I mean, Kalisto, technically.
He doesn't count. I agree with you on Mustafa Ali.
Right.
But
Leo, the man of the hour.
I'll give you Leo.
He's hanging. Didn't he just have a match with Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah,
I heard it was very good, but I don't watch Monday Night Raw.
But I do think that with they make it very clear though with Mustafa Ali, they're putting their chips into him as being a primary SmackDown guy.
Catanzaro is Ricochet's girlfriend.
Gives a shit. I don't care about Ricochet.
Whoa! Oh, you just said you loved Ricochet.
I do like Ricochet. I'm gonna slap his lips right off his face when I see him on
Oh
Wednesday.
my god! I hope he doesn't watch it. I've heard he's very nice. He is very nice.
George Beam says WWE is going to be back to TV 14 soon because Fox said if SmackDown ratings don't rise, it will be moved to Fox Sports 1 instead.
I don't think that WWE is ever going to be TV 14 again.
No,
because the sponsorship money is just too high.
And they're a publicly traded company.
So but it's too high.
That's going to happen.
I do think this though. I think that I think that when Vince McMahon in this next coming year is going to get more involved with the XFL, that Triple H will absolutely take over WWE, and you're going to see a huge shift that will directly compete with AEW. And New Japan.
I agree.
And Ring of Honor and everybody else.
I agree. Jackson Riker might be a savage, is what someone says.
Marquise Reese.
Don't know if I agree with that. I've only seen him wrestle squash matches since he got to NXT.
Let me ask you. So we know the superstar shakeup is going to be eventually happening.
Say that 3 times. It's happening after
shakeup
after Mania.
Yeah, which makes sense. Because
International, the first time they're doing it somewhere else other than the States.
Yeah, it's going to be in Toronto. It's going to be in Vancouver, I believe. I feel that first of all, I think that after WrestleMania, that's when you have to do a shakeup like that.
Oh, yeah.
I
mean, they usually do.
I almost wish, though, the WWE would kind of do like the NFL draft, where you have SmackDown and Raw have draft picks from NXT or NXT UK or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I think they go about the draft very poorly.
Yeah, I think
and they
it should
could make it really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like here are the top draft picks. They each get like however many picks, and they could trade.
You can trade.
Yeah, you'd be like,
right?
yo, we'll give you this person, this person, this person for this draft pick.
Yeah, and I think there should also be much like the NFL and and baseball, a trade deadline.
I agree.
So you can make trades and be like, well, the next time we have a shake-up, you give me Finn Balor, I'll give you my first-round pick and my fifth-round pick, and, I don't know, a bag of chips. I don't know. Anything would be better than what they do right now.
But it would definitely help fill out rosters, and it would make a lot of sense.
It would be very interesting.
And it would make it more sports-oriented instead of like, hey, I'm going to draw a lottery ball. Oh, here's who you get.
Yes,
or how the fuck they do it now.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's how they... Remember when Paul Heyman got drafted to Raw and then quit? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He was a general manager. Why is he draftable?
New comment from Marianne Wentworth.
Oh, hey, here's another one. Your girl Marianne commented, if you meet Ricochet at the NXT thing, tell him that Marianne says that he sucks and he eats pizza with a fork.
That is actually true. He does eat pizza.
I don't eat pizza at all, so it doesn't matter to me.
Really?
I don't like bread.
That's fair.
Here's the thing. I think that with this whole draft thing, remember that time Jim Ross got drafted and he had no idea he was going to get drafted, and he was and he was like shocked.
Yeah.
He was like, by God. He was like, I'm leaving.
I'm out of here.
I
think, yeah, the draft could be interesting. I mean, we've got a couple of months for that to come up, but I also think if you maybe vice versa that, and NXT can draft people.
Sure.
Like I just read in the comments a little bit ago that someone says Ty Dillinger wants to go back to NXT.
You know who? I've heard
who just returned. He just returned.
I've heard a lot of people want to go back to NXT.
Yeah.
Rusev was one of them.
Oh yeah, everybody wants their first names back.
I think Finn Balor never wanted to leave NXT.
I don't think so either, but I think it was good for him to leave because honestly, I think his run there is getting a little stale. It's just me.
But then his run for WWE, besides when he won the Universal title, was also very stale until just recently.
Very true.
Another guy that I think that should go back to NXT, it probably is better served for it, is probably a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. I think Shinsuke's just got to leave, man.
Yeah, AEW has his name written all over it.
I just think he...
You imagine the Chris Jericho Shinsuke Nakamura, the Kenny Omega Shinsuke Nakamura match?
I mean, we haven't seen that match in a long time. It'd be great to see it again. But Kevin says WWE needs a third brand to showcase talent other than NXT.
ECW.
Even if they use WCW as a brand. I love WCW, so bring it back.
I honestly wish that it wasn't Raw and SmackDown. I wish it was WWE and WCW.
Well, I mean, that's what they were going to do, but, you know.
It makes the most sense.
I mean,
hey, listen, I honestly don't really take anything serious when you're like on the SmackDown tag. What the fuck is a SmackDown? You're a catchphrase.
It's the A show. That's what it is.
No, it should be the WCW tag. Make it a fucking title. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're saying WCW. I'm like, yeah, let's bring it back. I love WCW.
I want WCW back.
WCW. I'm fine with it.
I think it should be back.
Well, don't bring back ECW though. We saw how that went.
ECW is a little difficult because you have to do it under like Extreme Rules.
Right.
It's like no thing. NXT's fine, but here's the weird thing. What does NXT actually stand for? Because if it means next, it's missing the E.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I'm going to ask that.
You should ask that. Wow. Oh my God. Please ask
Nobody
that.
has the answer. Nobody has a definitive answer.
Listen, I can just see you sitting down with Triple H.
Quick question, Hunter. What does NXT actually stand for? Because I'm very curious. Because
and then he just gets up and leaves.
If it means next generation of talent, it's missing an E with NXT.
They probably are just like, it's easier to chant. You can't chant next.
Maybe your old line was get the F out and you added the E in, but this doesn't have the E in it at all. No. So I don't understand. Maybe it's
that's where they removed the E from.
Yeah.
They took it from there and put it in the.
Did
WWE.
you remove the E from WWE to from
next to add it to the end of WWF? That's where it came from.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's now lore.
Let's pretend that we know the acronym of what NXT stands for. National Extreme Talent. That's what it
National
means
Extreme Talent.
National Extreme Training?
Training, yeah, maybe.
Maybe the X is like National Xylophone.
Tacos. Yeah, there's a xylophone and tacos under the ring that we haven't seen.
Guys, that's going to do it for us right here on THS Wrestling. This is a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be
back. It is good. Well, you've been here for a while. It's good to be back, rocking the show, talking about professional wrestling.
Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News is where you can find us. Hit that like button. You can find me on Twitter and everything else at JP Thrice. Where can the fine people find you?
At that hashtag Joe. Or in Orlando, Florida on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Man, that's so cool.
The WWE
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Please say hello to Johnny Gargano for me.
I'm going to kick him in the face. I'm just kidding. Now, it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait. But I'll hopefully get a lot of video and get a lot of footage. And we can air it right here next week on THS Wrestling.
That would be great.
Yeah. Guys, that's going to do it for us right here. Thank you so much. Follow that #show.com. John's writing about all wrestling on our website. He has a lot of great stories on there, and I want you guys to check him out right now at that #show.com. Also, if you like what we do, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Oh, you got it.
Nailed it. Yes, guys.